Welcome to the Saturday Morning Forum. I am your host, Cleopatra Draper, your favorite millennial from WVON's Rebuilding Black Chicago every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Today's show is dedicated to Miss Daisy Camps, who recently passed away. Ms. Camps was a dedicated worker for the cause and community, and her legacy spans from the earliest days of Operation Breadbasket to today. She was a pillar of service for all of our Saturday Morning Forum broadcasts, tireless volunteer, and a staunch supporter. We are asking for your prayer for her family. The RPC family also wishes to extend their condolences to our songbird, the talented Kim Stratton, who recently lost her son. We want her to know the Rainbow Push family have her in our thoughts and in our prayers. Recently, Reverend Jackson traveled to Washington, D.C. to visit Howard University. While there, he was joined by Reverend Dr. William Barber and participated in a town hall meeting with Howard University President A.I. Frederick and students regarding housing and reported unsatisfactory living conditions. And now, here's a special message from our founder, Reverend Jackson.
I want to first my thanks to the doctors and nurses at Howard University for giving me the best of service. Yesterday, while walking after a 3-hour marathon, said the president of Howard University had a fall. One of the tendencies when you have Parkinson's is it affects your speech and your stability. So I fell, and I came to the hospital really more for a checkup than anything else. And so they did thorough investigation of all of my parts. I want to thank them again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm anxious to get back at work now. I want to get back to meet with the president of the university and meet with the students to work on reconciling the differences. I think that we were very close, and there are some outstanding points. We agreed that students who are protesting in righteousness and the right reasons should not be expelled from school. We agreed, in addition to that the students who are protesting should be students. Also agrees in the real sense that there will be a commission because the names and the dates and addresses are very delicate. To be a commission to handle that situation. The president also agreed to go to 4 or 5 dormitories, which is with a group of students, to inspect 12 dormitories to see if there were any other things that were out of order. I thought the president had a good spirit yesterday. The students had a good spirit. I'd like to finish that process because I think Howard University, it's the maximum opportunity. It's top of the hill. It's not the hill, it's top of the hill.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And now for an update from our National Field Director, Bishop Tavis Grant, on the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
This is Bishop Tavis Grant, the National Field Director of the Rainbow Push Coalition, with our weekly Action on the Field report. You know, we're in an unprecedented time all over our nation of legal action. In Charlottesville, Virginia, with Heather Heyer, in Brunswick, Georgia, with Ahmaud Arbery, and here in the Midwest, in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old young man who crossed state lines with an automatic weapon, not even having a driver's license, let alone a permit and or a license to carry a gun, went to a peaceful march for social justice and justice for Jacob Blake and killed 2 people and wounded another for life. And the judge in this case, who's the longest sitting judge in the entire state of Wisconsin, has recently ruled that you cannot call the 2 individuals that he killed, you cannot call them victims. Even though Kyle Rittenhouse, out of his own mouth, has said, I killed 2 white kids. Those are his words. We must fight for the justice for these victims, these 2 individuals who participated in a process for peace, reconciliation, and justice and lost their lives. And it has us thinking back to Medgar Evers. It has us thinking back to Goodman, Cheney, and Swerner, has us thinking back to Emmett Till, and so many others who have lost their lives simply exercising their constitutional right to protest and freedom of speech. And yet, we're there in Kenosha each and every day of this trial because we want nothing less than justice in this case. You can join us by going to rainbowpush.org or hitting us on our social Facebook, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, because this is one of the most critical times in the course of civil rights. Imagine with these 3 cases going on right now, the George Floyd Justice Act is stalled in the Congress and in the Senate. Imagine the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act is stalled in the Senate and in the Congress. We must have the tenacity and the togetherness and the unity to leverage our pain into power. And always remember, we're keeping hope alive.
Recently, we were visited by our Haitian partners here at our national headquarters. Here's an update about what's going on in Haiti.
I want to switch gears to shine a light on our Haitian relief, certainly on our brothers and sisters of Haitian descent, as we broadcast live from Chicago, Illinois, which was founded by a man of Haitian descent. We do not want to forget about our brothers and sisters of Haiti, Haiti being the first group of free African people in this world, and so we owe a debt of gratitude to Haiti. And so I'm very excited now to introduce our next speaker. Judge Lionel Jean-Baptiste is going to come and give us an update as to what is going on with our Haitian brothers and sisters. We're grateful for him. He has another young man with him that he will introduce. Judge Baptiste, we welcome you, certainly.
Good morning to the Rainbow Push family. Good morning to Reverend Jackson, who's always been at the cutting edge of our fight for liberation. People ask sometimes, why do we make so much of Haiti? Well, Haiti is our Israel, brothers and sisters. This is the nation that broke the back, that began to open up the gateway towards freedom from slavery itself. So from 1791 to 1804, Haitians led a revolution, a protracted war, and defeated one of the most powerful armies in the world, the armies of Napoleon. That was under the leadership of Toussaint Louverture, who they eventually captured. But even when they captured Toussaint, they thought that they were doing something. But Toussaint was replaced by his lieutenant, Dessalines. And Dessalines had this approach that it would be freedom or death, and led the fight that brought about Haitian independence on January 1st, 1804. And you have to understand that the moment 1804, it wasn't until some 60 years later that the United States would emancipate the Africans who were enslaved here. It would have been some years before liberation would take place in Latin America for Africans. But the Haitians themselves were so resilient and so intense that the United States organized an embargo against them. They did not recognize Haiti at the time of its independence. It took 58 years. And Reverend, it was on the eve of the Emancipation Proclamation that Lincoln finally recognized Haiti in 1865. So it is important that we understand the struggle Haiti had to go through. It was isolated for 58 years. Nations were organized against it. It continued to survive. Then, on top of that, brothers and sisters, after Haiti liberated itself, France came back some 20 years later after Haitian independence with an armada of boats, gunboats, and demanded that Haitians pay reparations for freeing themselves back. Isn't that ridiculous? And we had, with the conditions was such that Haitians had been weakened by the embargo, they made the concessions to pay France 150 million francs in gold bullion, the equivalent of $52 billion today. $52 billion for freeing yourself back. And it took Haitians from 1825 to 1947 to pay back that debt. On top of that, brothers and sisters, in 1915, the United States, under the leadership of Woodrow Wilson, invaded Haiti and occupied it until 1934. And during this period of time, the United States took away the gold reserve of Haiti. They rewrote the Dessalinian Constitution. They imposed a military that was beholden to the U.S. military. and begin to dismantle Haitian sovereignty. And there's a reason for it. If you free yourself in the middle of the slavocracy that was the backbone of Western society, that's where the money was coming from. Here you are, you overthrew them. Plus, you overthrew the whole ideology of white supremacy, because for the first time, Africans were standing up after years and centuries of enslavement to say that they are equal with anybody. So you have to understand that the tribulations that Haiti is going through today is tied to its history. And until we collectively stand together with Haiti, it will continue to wage that fight. Today we say, with all of the crises that Haiti is going through, we need a Marshall Plan. And Reverend, we're calling it the L'Ouverture Marshall Plan. The L'Ouverture Marshall Plan includes the leadership of Haiti, the sovereignty, so that it can lead the way. And we calling on African nations. We calling on France to give back that money that they took from us. We calling on the United States to pay its debt to Haiti. We calling on Latin American nations. We calling on African nations, because it was through Haiti that the African spirit was resurrected. So we know that the fight is going on. We know it's protracted, and we know that we're going to persevere, because we are not going anywhere. It's freedom forever. Thank you very much. Yes, and let me introduce my younger brother, Jelani, with whom we have been working over years, his family, and he will talk to you about, in light of the current crises, what are we demanding? Thank you. Jelani.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. I greet you all in peace. I'd like to say good morning to Operation Rainbow Push Coalition and the Reverend Jackson for your ongoing advocacy and support on behalf of the Haitian people and freedom for all of our people, all black people. I am a member of the Coalition of Haitian American Organizations here in Chicagoland, and we do have a list of demands in addition to the Marshall Plan, which we know will be an extended effort, prolonged effort that we must stay the course on. But there are some immediate demands that we have to protect those who were not welcomed on our borders in a humanitarian way. So they're in danger, and we just want to make sure that we're clear on the demands that we have. Issue an immediate executive order to stop the deportations and expulsion of Haitian migrants who were and assembled at the Del Rio, Texas, and other borders of the U.S. Grant the Haitian migrant free legal services to apply for political asylum and other support that they are seeking. Provide humanitarian support for the Haitian migrants as they await processing in the form of food, clothing, shelter, and health care. Provide COVID-19 vaccination to all qualified migrants. Grant temporary protective status, TPS, to the Haitian migrants so they can work and become self-supportive and send support back home to their families. Most importantly, again, as the judge stated, we demand that our congressional leaders vote to appropriate the necessary amount of money to fund a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding and redevelopment of Haiti, because the U.S. and the entire Western world owe Haiti a debt. And should you find it in your heart to give to this ongoing effort to free our people and free the island of Haiti. We welcome you to donate to the Haitian Congress.org. There is a link to donate to the cause and the effort. And thank you so much for having us here today.
I need you, you need me, we're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me, we're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me.
For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat.
I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink.
I was a stranger and you invited me in.
I needed clothes and you clothed me.
I was sick, and you looked after me.
I was in prison and you came to visit me.
Historically, the city of Chicago has practiced economic apartheid, investing in areas already rich in resources. State-of-the-art skyscrapers in downtown and extraordinary tourist attractions on the shores of Lake Michigan, while the mostly black and brown South and West Side rarely witness new economic growth. All this can change with your help.
A budget reflects the priorities of a city.
A budget is a moral document. It shows where the political and economic heart of a city rests.
We believe the budget of the city of Chicago is a moral document where the priorities of the poor and marginalized must be emphasized.
We demand funding for housing and homelessness,
Water bill debt relief.
Lead pipe replacement,
Small business assistant programs.
mental health clinics,
A minimum.
A minimum.
a minimum.
A minimum.
a minimum of $100 million to fund a gun violence prevention office, to hire violence interrupters, social workers, plus unarmed crisis responders.
A budget is a moral document, and we believe it is the responsibility of our city to invest resources to support and lift the burden of the underserved.
Call your alderman.
Email your alderman.
Write your alderman.
Show up in person at your alderman's office.
Tell them to pass a moral budget for the city of Chicago.
I'm Pastor T.D. Hughes, and I believe in a moral budget for the city of Chicago.
I am Father Michael Flegger, and I believe in a moral budget for the city of Chicago.
I am Reverend Sierra Bakes Chamberlain, the Executive Director of Live Free Illinois, and I support a moral budget.
I am Pastor James Meeks, and I believe in a moral budget for the city of Chicago.
I am Otis Moss III, pastor at Trinity United Church of Christ, and I believe in a moral budget for the city of Chicago.
Just listen, there is a student movement going on all across this state of Illinois, championed by our founder and our president, the Reverend Jackson Sr. And so we want to make an appeal to students that if anything is going on at Southern Illinois, at Western Illinois, Northern, Eastern, at the University of Illinois, we want to be sure that you all understand that you can meet us. We want you to meet us here at 930 East 50th Street at Dr. King's workshop at the Rainbow Push National Headquarters, because there is something for students to do. I don't hear you all. You all can clap for students as well. There is something for students to do, and today we are very excited to have with us the UIC law students, and we are headed by Miss Ashley Shannon, who is the president of the Black Law Student Association at UIC, who will address us now.
Thank you, Rainbow Coalition. Thank you, Reverend Jackson and Reverend Wilson, for having us. You all black students at UIC Law School are not safe. We do not feel safe. Not even 2 weeks ago, we were informed that a tenured professor found in violation of discrimination and race policies will be reinstated as a full-time professor next semester. This is unacceptable. This professor has called black students cockroaches. He has called us, those people, his enemies. He has made fun of an African student accent in the classroom, used the word lynching for fun, and has even made homicidal comments in regards to those students that protested against him. Again, we do not feel safe. Students have come together to write demands for the law school, starting with the termination of this tenured professor, stating that tenure is not immunity for discriminatory practices. Despite the Office of Access and Equity finding this professor in violation of these policies, the law school does not hear us. They refuse to even testify to the fact that they are promoting systematic oppression in our faces. Despite the fact that they made a pledge last year to become an anti-racist institution, they are not striving each and every day to uproot systematic oppression when it shows its ways in the hallways of our very institution. Black students do not feel safe. And we are being asked to walk into classrooms and learn from professors such as these. How can we learn from professors that hate their own students? We do not feel safe. And because of on October 25th, the law school heard our demands, received our letters. The dean, the provost, the chancellor, the vice chancellor, we have still yet to receive a response. The Black Law Student Association and the Student Bar Association at UIC Law led a protest as of October 29th, stood outside of the walls of the institution formerly known as John Marshall Law School, stood outside and said that the name change of our institution to UIC Law does not suffice when discrimination is still perpetuating itself in classrooms even to this day. We do not feel safe. And so because we do not feel safe and the school refuses to respond, we are calling on legal organizations, Rainbow Push and all other civil rights organizations, activists, journalists, whoever you are, to stand with us. It has been over 300 days since we received any reports regarding this professor, and now they want to reinstate him. Unacceptable. When discrimination is a zero-tolerance policy, it must be treated as such. Hashtag, tenure is not immunity. Thank you.
Thank you for that update from UIC law students. I'm telling you, there is a student movement across this nation, and we want to be sure that students know that you can feel safe. Here at the Rainbow Push Coalition, there is a platform for students here at Rainbow Push, and we thank God for these brave UIC law students who did not think that it was too far from them to address this on this national platform, and we want to thank them. We certainly want to support them, and we thank God for them. Can we applaud these brave UIC law students, these black women that are coming to be in law in this nation? We want to support these black women to be our next lawyers in this nation. And so we thank God for the UIC law students, and we want them to know that we stand with them.
We're excited to get more people involved in Rainbow Push, supporting the programs of Push for Excellence and the Citizenship Education Fund. If you're interested in impacting public policies, if you believe in the scholarships that we give to thousands of students each and every year, you can become a policymaker by becoming a member of Rainbow Push right now. For an annual membership of $35, or if you're a student or senior, $15, you can help us make a difference in the lives of millions. How do you become a member? Visit our website at rainbowpush.org and press join. Or maybe you'd like to support us. You can text the word PUSH, that's P-U-S-H, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give any amount you feel comfortable giving. You can also call us at 773-256-2775, or go to rainbowpush.org and push donate. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you.
New York is a current epicenter of the coronavirus, with cases climbing past 100,000.
CDC reports more than 9,000 healthcare workers have been infected.
More than 30 million Americans have filed for unemployment.
In just 2 months, the coronavirus has killed more Americans than the Vietnam War.
And during this historic time, we need to love one another.
Hey, Tavon, it's your mom. I was just calling to check up on you, making sure you're doing okay. I also wanted to remind you You can only love your neighbor as much as you love yourself. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're protecting your mind. I love you. Bye.
For my brother, for my sister, for my cousins and my lovers, all God's children. This is for these streets. This is for the weak. If you're feeling down, come on now, come and listen.
We need to love one another, need to hug one another. We sell drugs to each other. A brother will say love you, but he'll still kill you. And that right there, dog, will be the end of us, but this will be the hell of us. I got the blueprint, how I'm gonna save us. I have the blueprint, how I'm gonna make it. And everybody back home, I ain't forget about you. Don't focus on the current, it will drown you out. And if you lost in the hood, you can't get out. And it's the world savior, watch me walk it out. Story of my life that I'm about to talk about. How we go from being kings to fiends and now to dreams. Just to be a trap star. And many times go down that road and they didn't get far. And if you tired of the stressing, let this be a lesson. Love is the answer to the question.
My brother, for my sister, for my cousins and my lovers, all God's children. This is for these streets. This is for the weak. If you're feeling down, come on now, come and listen.
Dear America, what to destroy heritage? You took our history, changed it, and then you buried dead. And I'm just curious, why won't we be like Paris skin? It's the same way Sammy Sosa wanna bleach his skin. Like they painted Jesus Christ as a white man. Around and around we go, where the love at? And when you look in the mirror, do you love that? Self-hatred, displacement. It's funny how the hate take on different faces, and how happiness can get you through the mazes. And when you come out, you on top. And keep moving on, cause the hate don't stop. You gotta help yourself to get the love back. You gotta help yourself to get the love back. You gotta help yourself to get the love back. Now where the love at? Now where the love at?
For my brother, for my sister, for my cousins and my lovers, all God's children. This is for these streets. This is for the weak. If you're feeling down, come on now, come and listen. Hey, love one another, love one another. Oh yeah, come on. Hey, my sisters and my brothers, love one another. Oh yeah, come on. Hey, my sisters and my brothers, love one another. Oh yeah.
In our continuing coverage on the death of Illinois State University graduate student Jelani Day, a family member shared more details with us.
You all have been following the Reverend Jackson and the team at Rainbow Push with this Jelani Day update. We're certainly grateful to have Jelani's first cousin, Miss Ariel Davis, who is going to join me on the stage in just a moment. And we want to, at this point now, bring our National Field Director, the Bishop Tavis Grant, who's going to stand alongside Ariel, and they're going to give us an update as to what is going on with the Jelani Day case. I want everyone to hashtag what happened to Jelani Day. If you hear me, I want you to clap back and say, what happened to Jelani Day? And we want Bishop Grant and Ariel to come and give us an update at this time.
Let's give it up for the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Push Coalition. I am so honored and privileged to have this family member. This family has shown a great deal of resilience and strength and tenacity. And so I want her to have an opportunity to speak to not just America, but to the whole world. Give it up for Sister Ariel as she comes now. Clap, clap.
First, I just want to say I'm honored to be here, honored to have Rainbow Push behind me and my family with my cousin Jelani. This has been very, very heartbreaking, and all of our lives have instantly changed. If Jelani were here, First I'll start with this. I am a writer, and I write, and things come to me. And I wrote, and I felt as if Jelani was moving through me, and he wants us to keep pushing, keep moving, and find out what happened to him. It doesn't make sense, and even, yesterday, I don't know if you guys seen an update where Peru and LaSalle are saying that they handed their files over to the FBI. If you follow my Aunt Carmen Bowden Day on Facebook, she's stating that the FBI is still not involved. They're just trying to put themselves in front now to make it as if they are doing their job. So all the help we're getting, everybody keep hashtagging everything. I know that Reverend and Bishop have a march coming up again, so if any and everyone, you tell a friend, tell another friend, and we can just keep making this movement powerful, because I am tired of seeing our Black people gone missing without a cause of what is happening. So, again, thank you.
Let's give it up for her one more time. I want to thank you, those of you college students, elected officials who marched with us this week. Over 500 people marched with us from all over that region. I want you to go to rainbowpush.org. We'll be announcing our next move this coming week right there at the university where Jelani went to school. I want us to give a round of applause to Carmen Day, Jelani's mother, who has been on the front line. And Reverend Jackson led a delegation of us from one site to the next site to the next site to see for ourselves how incompetent and the malfeasance of these law enforcement agencies. And I want to thank Congressman Bobby Rush, Congressman Danny Davis for stepping up and demanding federal intervention and federal involvement from the Justice Department to the FBI in this case, because you must see it for yourself. It doesn't make sense, as Ariel said. You must see it for yourself. It was not a suicide, it was a homicide. And it's important that we get to the bottom and get to the facts and get to the truth. And so go to rainbowpush.org right now and click that tab, and you'll find out more about Jelani Day.
I'm Todd Yeary, back with this week's Due Process. What a difference a night can make. After apparent gridlock and voter fatigue, the elections Tuesday night saw a pullback from some of the issues that have dominated the political agenda for the past 2 years. In Virginia, former Governor Terry McAuliffe failed in his bid to return to the executive mansion. Plagued by an inability to find a message that resonated with what had been a blue trend, along with a stagnant national agenda inside the D.C. Beltway, there was little fire in the base of Democratic voters in Virginia, leading to the loss of all of the statewide elected positions on Tuesday night. Meanwhile, a referendum to restructure the police department in Minneapolis failed yet again. After the nation has been riveted by the killing of George Floyd and subsequent trial, voters in Minneapolis pushed back against what many had viewed as unhelpful reforms in policing. It remains to be seen what effect the referendum failure will have on the police reform efforts in Washington. We will stay tuned to see what happens next and continue to push for comprehensive constitutional police reform nationally. In major local elections, we saw history being made and history being rejected. In Boston, Michelle Wu was elected mayor and will be the first woman and person of color to serve as the city's executive. However, in Atlanta, former Mayor Kasim Reed fell short in his bid for a third term as mayor. Reed came in third and missed the opportunity for a runoff election to return to City Hall. The runoff will be between Andre Dickens, a member of the Atlanta City Council, and Felicia Moore, the current City Council president. The runoff election will be on November 30th. And in Buffalo, New York, incumbent Mayor Byron Brown appears to have won re-election by way of write-in voting against India Walton, a self-described Democratic socialist. Brown had lost to Walton in the Democratic primary, but gained traction with a strong write-in campaign before Tuesday night. In Washington, the Senate failed to advance the John Lewis voting rights bill, as Senate Republicans blocked the measure to move to floor debate. Only Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski voted with Senate Democrats to move the bill. The fight continues to protect the right to vote in America, and we will remain fully engaged in this fight. On the police reform front, in Philadelphia, Mayor Jim Kenney has issued an executive order banning police officers from pulling over vehicles for secondary violations, such as improperly displayed registration or inspection stickers and single broken taillights. The practice has often led to disparate numbers of Black and Latino motorists being stopped and searched. The order puts the driving equality bill passed by the City Council into effect. Similar restrictions have been implemented in smaller jurisdictions across the country and also in the Commonwealth of Virginia. In Philadelphia, some project that this change could mean as many as 300,000 fewer police encounters per year. We will continue to track the implementation and its impact of this new policy. As the trials of Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin and 3 white men charged in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia continue, problems with the juries have already surfaced. In the trial for the death of Ahmaud Arbery, the jury that has been impaneled consists of 11 whites and only 1 black. Even though the judge has noted that the racialized tenor of the jury selection process was evident, the trial will go on with the jury that has been seated. This, while in Wisconsin, a juror in the Rittenhouse trial has been dismissed after it was reported that the juror told an inappropriate joke to a sheriff's deputy about Jacob Blake Jr. The juror was questioned about the comment, after which the defense and prosecution lawyers agreed that the juror should be dismissed. We will continue to track both of these trials to ensure that they are indeed fair and just. In Oklahoma, the Board of Pardons and Parole has recommended clemency for Julius Jones, who is on death row for murder. The board members reaffirmed their earlier recommendation that Jones's death sentence be commuted, and by the same vote as before. The governor, Kevin Stitt, had indicated that he would wait until the clemency recommendation had been given before making any decision about Julius Jones's case. Now that the decision has come down, we are waiting for the governor to affirm the recommendation and commute the sentence of Julius Jones. Finally, in South Carolina, the Department of Justice has settled the civil suits filed after the killing of 9 people at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston in 2015. The suit will settle the cases of 14 plaintiffs who allege that the FBI was negligent when it failed to prohibit Dylan Roof from purchasing a gun that was later used in the slayings at Mother Emanuel. The settlement addresses the claims of those who survived the horrific violation of human dignity in June of 2015. It will never, however, bring back the beautiful souls of 9 people who lost their lives that night. May they continue to rest in eternal peace. That's this week's Due Process. I'm Todd Yeary.
I want to invite you to help us bring to pass a vision that was given to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. by the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King had a dream of 1,000 churches connected. We got, 50 major markets. If we have 20 churches in those 50 major markets that would basically say, I'm going to connect with Rainbow Push. And in connecting with Rainbow Push, we'll do it on several levels. We'll do it by way of offering our financial support to Rainbow Push. I've already sent a check both to Reverend Jackson and to Rainbow Push because it's definitely necessary at this time that we understand the need to utilize our prophetic witness in an empowered fashion. I often say that while the Republicans are playing a game of power chess, the Democrats are trying to learn how to play checkers. Listen, we preach about power. We talk about power. The question is, are we going to wield power? Reverend Jackson says we can wield power with 1,000 churches around this country connected in investing in Rainbow Push, but also not only must we invest in Rainbow Push, I hope you join me and will contribute at least $1,000. I've done more than that, but you can do what God has blessed you to do. And then not only that, I want to encourage you, as Reverend Jackson is talking about, we need, just as we have Sunday school classes, we've got to have social justice classes and teach what it means to unite or reunite in holy wedlock, what never should have been divorced, Jesus and justice. That's what 1,000 churches connected can do. Imagine 1,000 churches throughout this country connected, wielding power. Watch this, as one, but at the same time doing all we can to make a difference in our respective areas, being fed, watch this, information as well as inspiration from Rainbow Push as a family and Reverend Jesse Jackson as our fearless leader. So I hope that you'll join me. Join 1,000 churches connected. That's a real good way to keep hope alive.
Push Excel's goal is to inspire students to strive for excellence in education in spite of personal, family, and community challenges that they might experience. How do we do this? By advocating for educational policies that guarantee equal funding for all students without regard to race or economic standing. By engaging parents, students, and teachers in pursuing high-quality education and striving for educational excellence at every level. And by forging partnerships with community-based and public sector stakeholders in education. Now, Push Excel is a national model program with the purpose of connecting principals, parents, popular personalities, and students in a bond and to support students at every level on the educational ladder. Now, we want you to become a member of the Rainbow Push Coalition and Push Excel. Your annual membership can help us to change policies that impact students, colleges, and universities all around the country. So step up and sign up today. Membership is only $35, and if you're a student or a senior, $15. Just go to our website, rainbowpush.org, and push join to become a member or push donate to support the Push Excel program. You can also text the word Push Excel, that's PUSHEXCEL, to 41444 on your cell phone, and you can give us any amount that you feel comfortable giving or call us at 773-256-2775. Wherever you are, you can support us as we keep pushing for you. And remember to keep hope alive.
Dr. Kim, I went to jail with a group of 7 students, July 17, 1960, almost 60 years ago. We never stopped moving. I lost a few jail cells and death. We never stopped moving. I thought it was time to write some of it down so the older generation can learn how we did, and what we did, and how global it was. Whether speaking about Mandela in South Africa, India, Qatar, Gandhi in India, here at home. This book tells the story, so please get it, so give it to your friends. Read it, let's argue about it, let's discuss it.
Yep, so the book is Keeping Hope Alive, Sermons and Speeches of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. It's quite a good collection. You know, we've got sermons and speeches from around the globe because you have made such a global impact, not just here in the US, but around the world.
Thank you for tuning in to our International Saturday morning broadcast. We need your support. Here are ways to give to Rainbow Push Coalition. Text PUSH, P-U-S-H, to 41444 to support the work of Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., and Rainbow Push Coalition. When you shop, Amazon gives. Visit Amazon Smile and select Push for Excellence as your charitable organization by starting your shopping at smile.amazon.com.
We are sanctuary. We are a sanctuary.
When I think of Rainbow Push, I think of two words: social justice.
Education advocacy.
Political empowerment.
Freedom and equality.
Corporate partnership.
Stop the violence. Save the children. Don't get in. Shut it down. If we don't get in, shut it down.
Political change.
Inclusion, evolution. Progress, justice.
Jesse Jackson.
Keep hope. Keep hope alive. Alive. Keep hope. Keep hope alive. Alive.
We want to be bridges to end these cultural gaps.
We're going forward. By hope. Not backwards. By fear.